Martina Devlin, we're here at the Zurich Dalkey Book Festival, and you've just presented a talk that covered your new book, The House Where It Happened, which is set in Northern Ireland in the 1700s. It sounds like a formidable task to write in a place so far in the past. Was that difficult?
No, because I grew up in Northern Ireland and the past is very much present there. But I think you could say that about the whole of Ireland. You know, all those layers, past, present, future, they're all embedded together, in my view. I was drawn to the story because it seemed to me to deal with marginalised people, demonised people. And I was also drawn to it because the story had been forgotten. And I wondered why. I'm fascinated by the stories societies choose to tell themselves and which societies choose to pass on to the next generation. But I'm more fascinated by the stories we choose to suppress and not pass on. And I think that the story of the witch trial in Island McGee in 1711 falls into the latter category. It's a story that people wanted to push aside and forget about.
That's fairly typical of society in Ireland in one way.
Well, absolutely, for sure. But again, you could say that it can be typical of a lot of societies. What was interesting about this story for me is it was set among the Ulster Scots quite soon after they arrived. So in the 1600s and 1700s there was the plantation of Ulster, and really that's why Ireland is divided into two parts today. And I was interested in this community and what it was like for them living here. I thought it must have been a bit like the old John Wayne films, you know, with the Indians or the Native Americans as we call them now, but you know, the settlers and the Indians were coming, and you must have been afraid for your life because you were living in hostile terrain, always looking over your shoulder. And I had that impression about what was going on too in Island McGee at the time.
Because when I was reading the first part of the book, the letter that's supposedly to be found in the Linen Hole in Belfast,
but not.
Yes, but the book explains that in the glossary anyway, and that reminded me of other atrocities that have happened through time. I'm thinking of Isaac Bashevis Singer, Polish-American author, who described villages in Poland where Cossacks had buried children alive and they had ground and shook for 3 days. And then more laterally, in your book, it reminded me very much of Babi Yar, which happened in Kiev during the Second World War. It's something that grips you, and it's also in your book, I think, the anchor for
it is. It's exactly what it is. It's well put. I frame the story of the Island McGee witch trial in 1711 within the context of an atrocity which had been carried out 70 years earlier, almost 69 years earlier. It was a massacre when the McGees of Island McGee were put to the sword. The women were rounded up, women and children rounded up, chased to the cliffs, these dramatic high cliffs, the Gobbins, and the women and children are chased to the cliffs, and they have an appalling choice to jump onto the rocks below or to turn and face the swords of the soldiers. And we know that this happened, it's documented, people quibble about the numbers involved. I think probably there were about 30, we can't be 100% sure, but I think about 30 women and children had this awful experience. And I use this to explain why there's something unquiet about Island McGee and why neighbours look away when things happen.
But that also plays a little bit on this thing where there's a collective willingness to forget atrocities.
Absolutely. That's how societies move on from appalling things, isn't it? They agree to forget.
I think so,
I mean, I suppose you could say it's a little bit like Northern Ireland today, post Good Friday Agreement. The community has had to agree to park a lot of bitterness and just accept that dreadful things happened. Not everybody will be brought to trial for them, and that justice can't always be delivered. Peace and justice don't always go together.
No, you have to probably find a way of going forward without redressing every single issue that has taken place, maybe. Or
very hard for individuals who've suffered to put up with that, but it's the greater good, I guess, has been prioritised. Easy for me to say.